Good evening, everyone. It's a very interesting session, marketing, and those who believe marketing is integral, very important, uh, please engage. You can actually ask questions towards the end of the session. I'll just keep 5 minutes for the audience as well. So today's session that we have is a very interesting session, actually. It's basically aligning the mall marketing and the tenants together for the end customer. A lot has changed from the pandemic era. We are now in the post, and we may again get into pandemic again. So I've got this super panelist over here representing brands, malls. So I'll start with I'm sorry, I don't really remember everyone's profile, but that's Vineet Jain. He's the Chief Operating Officer for Mart Retail Limited. We got Kapila, Sethi with us, who's been the marketing head for DLF Malls. We have Dr. Vishesh Rawat, Rohini, who represents lifestyle, Dr. Dheeraj Dogra, the less I speak, the better about him, and Akhil Jain, obviously, the Madam Director. So I'll quickly start the session. Guys, the new tools, the dimensions that have sort of changed and then brought in post-pandemic, what has changed? Is it as what it was earlier from traditional marketing? Because we were just at the speaker's lounge, Kapila, myself, we all were just talking. And there were few things which were done at the time because those were the need. And now the things have changed a bit and we are back to normalcy. What do you see the changes to be? I think you guys will take the mics.
What has changed? I think we've gone a full circle, Earlier, we took a lot of things for granted. This is 2019 time when nobody knew about COVID and, we were frolicking in the mall spaces, retail spaces. Then came a point when everything just came to a standstill. We were very, very cautious, scared, didn't know what to expect. Then came a time of extreme cautiousness. Should I step out, not step out? That happened after the first wave. Then came a phase of revenge shopping, when everybody just wanted to go out there, shop their bit because there was so much of uncertainty. Is this going to happen again? Will I be locked in at my house again? Will I be able to connect with my favorite brand anymore? No, we didn't know. Thankfully, so today, I think all of that has been done and over with, and people are dying to get back in a good way, to step back in retail spaces, engage with the brands. So I think on both sides, engagement is taking a higher precedence than ever before. Brands are working harder now to connect with the customers. And when I say brands, I also include malls in it. Because we are not trying too hard to get them in. But I think our efforts are right now to engage with them, give them that experience that was taken away from them for the past 2 years. That's what has changed. And then, of course, it has got various dynamics, in terms of experience. Has shopping changed? Has Omnichannel become more prevalent? Those are tools. But on an overall sense, I think experience and engagement is something which has completely changed.
Got it. Kapila has given actually the perspective for the shopping malls, right? What has changed and what has now been the normalcy. Rohini, again, gentlemen, what has changed because I remember the hypermarket was the only thing which was actually open during the lockdown. I remember lifestyle and a lot of other anchor formats going and doing RWA sessions and trying to go and reach out to the societies, ensuring that there is some business happening. While you said there is a new set of acquisition you guys did during the pre-pandemic period, right? How does this continue and what has changed from then to now?
See, I can say anyway the change was happening. And what the change supposed to happen in the 6 to 8 years time, that has happened in the 2 years and 3 years time. Which means earlier, generally, we hardly imagine that without physical meeting and without physical touch, okay, we cannot move. But I think the pandemic taught us, and that was supposed to happen in the 6 to 8 years time. That has happened in 2 to 3 years time. So everything speed up. That's the thing. That's the one change happened. Then from the marketing perspective, I can say as a retailer, okay, the 2 to 3 things is like overall allocation of the money for the marketing expenditures. Like typically like earlier the digital activation, the budget was hardly there. Then the data, generally we always talk that data is the new fuel for this era. But I think we sense it, we apply it, we activated it more during recent time after the pre-pandemic time, post-pandemic.
In most of our malls, what we have sort of, the change that I see, which has happened is, and I was telling Kapila about that, is the STPD, the segmentation, targeting, positioning, and differentiation. That has changed drastically, right? For us, the calendar does not look with events anymore. There are programs that we have built. There are a few things that we're doing differently, like the guest listing events, right? Guest listing events. So guest listing events. So we obviously know who are the customers who are shopping where, and we obviously have the data of those customers. We are now calling them for a wine and cheese at a particular store and sort of bringing them about the new collection, all of that. And we are seeing some merit in that as well. Rohini, from your point of view, what has changed?
So I think, like Kapila said, I think we're getting back to normalcy, and people are getting back to a lot of their old behaviors. But I think a lot of things got accelerated in the last 2 years, and one of them is that consumers have just got used to getting everything on their phones, whether it's about following brands on Instagram or shopping online. I think they now. Probably, and this is something I've personally felt as well, I've spoken to a few people as well, probably, there is the part of physical shopping that everybody's happy to be back to, which is like the touch and feel and actually see and try on products. But there is also the friction part of it, which people are now a little less patient about because, it's so much easier to just order something on your phone. So that is something I think as brands and malls we need to work at and see how do we make it easier for the consumer to navigate our malls, to navigate our stores, curate collections, trends, fashions, specifically from a fashion point of view in a way that it replicates, or if not replicates, at least, when you go on to, say, a Myntra website, I'm again talking very much from a fashion perspective, you get a bit of an insight of what are the key trends, what should I buy into, what are the hot products. So how do we bring some of that to them and not just say, okay, now you come into the mall, now you figure it out for yourself, or you walked into a lifestyle store, you figure it out for yourself. So I think we have to reduce friction in their journey every step of the way so that, we can now satisfy even this new age, digital, slightly more impatient consumer.
Dr. Dogra and Akhil, any points from you guys on this?
Yeah, that's true. As Rohini said, as a brand, as a fast fashion brand, what happened post-pandemic, that a lot of customers actually shifted to a lot of comfort wear and a lot of staple kind of styles. And what we always anticipated, there was a skip of a season. So all of a sudden, we skipped one season, there was a transition. So we skipped a season and the customers have actually, gone back to, revenge buying, panic shopping, and they're, trying all kinds of salutes. And so what, as a brands, we have done is we have actually engaged into a lot of customized marketing to, target these customers using some intelligence, data intelligence, that the capabilities we built during the pandemic. Everybody tried to, shorten their IT journeys. They fastened the IT journeys because something that was planned for 23-24, we had to actually do it in 21-22 just to tap that customer. So this is what happened as
I think that's an amazing point Akhil just made, actually. Never before, I don't think the marketing guys were ever dealing with the tech department or the IT department before like they are now. And there is so much conversations between the CTO and the CMO to sort of figure out the best practices. I was just asking Kapila if the data science has kicked in. In some of our malls which are very mature, who have been in the life cycle of more than 3-4 years, we've got a substantial database of more than few lakhs. Now, I was just telling the gentleman and everyone behind the lounge, what do you do with so much of data? Because I know where Vineet comes, what time he comes, what car he owns, where he lives, how many times he comes to my mall. I know a lot of his lifestyle. All of this is happening because of the CRM and how good we are able to map through the data points. And that's a big change that at least I have seen across most of the formats in malls in India. Doctor, you have any point that you had to make on this? Doctor's lost.
All right, there's a lot of echo. If you can everyone hear us? Sunai dera? Okay.
There's a lot of voices echoing.
See, we were talking about CRM, so that just came to my mind let's take you guys back to about 30 years, 40 years. We all, basically most of us, I think so, came from middle class families, small towns or big towns, whatever. Your parents got or your father got a salary once a month. So you would go to the same Kirana store. Your mother would or father would give you a list of things that you want. And you'll go there and you'll ask, ye chahiye ji. The Kirana store guy, he knows you by name, he knows your father, he knows your brother, he knows everything about you. He knows आप कौन सी क्लास में हैं. अगर सब्स्टिट्यूट एक चीज का नहीं है, अगर कोलगेट टूथपेस्ट नहीं अवेलेबल है, he would say ये नहीं है, बेटा बिना का ले जाओ. अगर वो भी कुछ नहीं अवेलेबल है तो बोला बेटा कोई बात नहीं, आप जाओ मैं घर भिजवा दूंगा. Okay? If the parcel was heavy, he'll ask the boy to help you. And then he would not even take any money. Not that he's doing it for free. Once a month, when your father gets his salary, he'll go and pay. And this guy, the grocer, वो सबका रजिस्टर बना में नाम बना हुआ है, वो सबका उसी में खाता लगा रहा है. अब इस दिन ये लिया, इस दिन ये लिया, and you pay once. So, personally, when I look at CRM part of it, another example, you already know your customer, you're already giving him substitutes, you already know his insights, his likes, dislikes, वो सब आपने कर लिया. अब imagine करो CRM में आप सब्जी खरीदने गए हो and somebody, you buying sabzi and then all of a sudden the vendor gives you dhania, pudina and mirchi for free. I don't know if you've noticed that. If you were going to the same store over and over again. And the quantity of that dhania, pudina or mirchi will not be the same for every customer. He would treat every customer differently based on what CRM relationship he has. Okay? So this has been practiced lifelong. We just, now for the fact that we talk about databases, but at the end of the day, it's all about touching hearts. And I say that all the time. If you can do that by whatever way, whether it's through a database or through anything else, और मॉल्स भी कोई अभी नई, ये तो नई चीज़ नहीं है. अगर आप चांदनी चौक जाते हो तो नई सड़क में ओनली बुक्स, चावड़ी बाजार में सिर्फ वही मिलता है. तो व्हाट आर those are kind of malls by itself. So ये customer gets a choice of different same category of products in the same. So I personally feel कि we have to introspect, look inside of us and find ways enabling technology, using technology as an enabler to touch hearts.
Very interesting, very interesting. I think I'm going to move to the next. Sorry, Dr. Ram, please.
I will add what Dheeraj has said. Fundamentally, what we are doing from last so many years, from centuries, that Kirana store model, that we want to do at a larger scale now. Personalization, personalization, and personalization. This has been the key for every marketer from times immemorial. We want to reach out to the customer in whatever way he wants and whatever he wants in a manner that facilitates him. So the way now, moving to the malls, this is a larger picture, larger thing to do. This is not a Kirana store. There are hundreds of stores in your mall. So how to replicate that Kirana model thing?
Right.
So here is the thing that technology comes in. Because today you get to know the numbers of the customers, you know their email IDs. Now you want to know about their geography, you want to know their demographics, their likes, dislikes, so that you can personalize your offering to them.
Quite right, quite right.
So now you will say that, I know this person comes to the mall once in a month, twice in a month. What are his preferences? To which stores he goes? What groceries he buys? If he visits the big bazaar, he visits the uh, Limarch, what sort of buying behavior he's having. So based on that information, I can plan my marketing.
Yeah, that's how the clusters are typically done in the CRM model, and that's how you segment customers, and that's how you sort of talk to
Yes.
them, right, doctor? Yes.
Apart from it, as far as mall developers are concerned, they can also promote. Like we promote at our malls cross promotions of tenants. Like Imperfecto is there, then a grocery store is there. Imperfecto is a pub. You know, still they can leave their vouchers at the grocery store. They can say if someone is interested, they will get this percentage of discount
Sure,
if they are coming from this grocery store. So as a mall developer, we can promote cross promotions for all the retailers.
Sure.
So that's the second thing we can do.
Perfect. Now the very next interesting subject that we have is the brand value and the brand marketing. I think what has sort of changed over the course, and I believe strongly, wearing the filters, is all of us became very tactical, right? Because we immediately had to either get consumption, or we had to get the new collection, or we had to launch a particular. Has in this entire journey, we lost what the brand values and the brand campaign basically once upon a time we used to have. All of that seems to have disappeared, right? It's becoming very tactical is what I understand, and I would love to have your views on that and how important as a role it plays in overall establishing the brand. Because I remember we used to have brand campaigns for shopping malls too, which were either emotional or functional, whatever they've been, right? But there was a brand tonality, there was a brand language, there was a brand campaign which was there, Kapila. Has that now moved away and let's focus on the tactical, just get what we need to do?
It hasn't gone out at all. We still do it, but we do it at a larger level because we understand the customers more, of course. We spoke of data science, we spoke of understanding the customer, but then all of that is a means to an end. And the end being that how do you take your brand proposition, the promise as a brand that you're making? So like we were discussing, you know, from a retail space, from a malls, have stopped being a place of transaction for some time now. I mean, when the mall as a concept was launched, people used to go there, shop, you know, eat, catch a movie, grab a cup of coffee, and that's about it. Today, at least at DLF, the whole mall is being unmalled, you know, and that's the brand promise that one is making. Malls have become a melting pot for cultures, experiences. You know, you don't just go there to have a cup of coffee, you probably go and engage, you know, with the sustainability market that's happening specifically for like-minded people like you. You know, so you go engage with them. From a consumer's point of view, that's the promise that they see that, okay, I associate DLF malls or, you know, another brand of malls to give me an X factor. That is the brand proposition which, you know, accelerates and increases the brand value. So you start attaching. Like today, if somebody talks of fashion, they know, okay, I need to go to Promenade. If somebody talks of, you know, greater experiences on culture, on music, on culinary, Commons, Avenue is the answer. So that's the brand value that we're creating and the association. So campaigns are there. Campaigns are more tactical, season-based. Okay, I'm launching a spring-summer with, you know, 100+ brands. That's a different tactical exercise. But at a strategic level, campaigns still exist, but they take on a very affable tone now.
That's good to know. And she came up with a nice word, which is unmalling. I sort of like that word, Kapila. Unmalling word.
Unmalling the mall, absolutely.
That's a nice word. Rohini, anything from your side of what the question that I basically asked?
So I think last 2 years, I would have to agree with you that marketing has definitely been more tactical, but that's also been because the marketing at the end of the day has been squeezed the most in terms of budgets. But if I have to talk about, say, coming out of it, what we are planning, what we're seeing other brands in the market also doing, I think everybody is definitely getting back to building brand now.
Awesome. We got two main areas left, and I'll just
I would like to add.
Sorry, please, Akhil, please.
I would like to add, so what's happened is now, pre-pandemic, we were doing a lot of mass communication with the customer, just on the context of, you know, getting in more customer to the stores. So now a lot of that has gone customized and personalized with, you know, the kind of data capabilities we as industry learned.
And which is why you feel that the brand campaign has sort of moved away.
Yeah. Yeah, so with the capability that we built, we learned in the pandemic, with the IT journeys, everything we did. So it's become more crisp, more customized, and more ROI-centric.
Understood. That's a very fair point, Akhil, actually. I didn't see from that perspective, but yeah, good. We've got last two topics to cover, and one of them is going to be the most favorite of everyone. Freebies or experience. A lot of malls are actually giving away vouchers, they're giving away cosmetic products, they're trying to lure customers. And I know, Kapila, you have a very different point of view. But that's a practice that we generally see. While while some of the malls still focus on creating experiential events, creating those little experiences, selling packages in forms of experience. One of the malls, we actually made a nice Valentine package for the end customer who could actually buy it from the mall's website. And the package was actually ensuring that the day well spent, right? So the couple could buy the package for around 2,500 bucks, if I'm not wrong. And it gets to have from the morning, they can watch a movie, they can see the comedy club, they will have a nice dinner. We had created a Eiffel Tower so they could go and take the pictures there. So we tried to focus on the experience, yet the underlining was consumption. Yeah. Coming back to the same point again, for just putting up context for everyone, freebies or experience, what works? I'll start with you now.
I think it is not the either or something like that. It is like both are working. And it's like experience is always like a strategic thing. It's like working for the long-term kind of thing. Freebies are like more a tactical and the instant gratification. So both are working, I can say. And typically when we divide our market like tier 1, 2, 3, and 4, okay, the tier 1, it's like more all about the experience, which I think people will come again and again to your shopping destinations, shopping malls, okay. The tier 3 and 4, the people are looking more towards the freebies and value and all. So that's the way the India is. It's not the one answer for all. We have to go like that. And again, at the fundamental level, when we are talking, it is not like it's not like we are doing marketing and the footfalls are coming or something like that. The fundamental level, the brand mix, okay, the tenant mix play a very critical role. Then how you design it, how you create the experience like seamless mall kind of thing, like just C-told mall to unmall kind of thing. So I think that is critical piece for I think make your customer loyal and like how you will get the repeat footfall. So that is more critical, I believe. And marketing is a tool. It's like to entice the customer. Okay, you are informing them what you have. Okay, if you are over informing, that is also dangerous. Under informing sometimes may work, but over communication is dangerous sometimes.
So you're saying it has to be a mix of both to keep the right fine balance.
Yeah.
Because one side you have the value conscious customers, at the other side you have customers who seek experience.
Absolutely.
Kapil, I'll put that for the last to you.
Experience always is like a strategic in the long term, which will work for ages.
Sure. Doctor, any views from your side?
I don't think these are exclusive of each other, either experience or either freebies. This depends. In case of value retail, like he said, V-Mart or Big Bazaar, like of thing, freebies are also very important. They play on price. They are a set of customers who come to the store and they compare only price. So this is also very important in some cases. Then there are a set of customers that who are not interested in freebies because they are not going to use it. There's a premium set of customers. They prefer experience. All luxury, premium, be it malls, be it retail, you will see experience is the dividing factor. Experience itself, not a single thing. Experience and covers all. If you include service, so we cannot think that this is service or experience. Both are two different things. Experience is like, you are not providing me, but the customer is getting from the overall things.
Right.
And service is like, this is hygiene factor that you need to provide certain things that are minimum, that there is a hygienic environment, there is ambient temperature, you greet the customers, there is a proper setup of things. So this service is hygiene, then experience is a wow. So, however, if you see in most of the businesses, experience is very important because a saying goes on, whatever gyan you give, a person can forget it. But what experience you give him in your company, he will never going to forget. So this is human nature. If he gets a wow feeling, he feels belongingness, he feel good about shopping from your store and coming to your mall. So that experience, it will remain with him. That brings loyalty.
Got it. Got it, doctor. Got it. Rohini, before it comes to you, I'm just going to tweak the question because it's you. And I'll tell you the reason why I'm doing that. Lifestyle being the departmental store, being the anchor for in almost across most of the malls. Freebies or experience. And in this context, actually, Lifestyle believes in giving a lot of freebies in terms of vouchers because they strongly feel there is an incremental sale that comes and pops in. But does the same Lifestyle brand believe into partnering with a mall marketing team for doing experiential events or a good experience?
Absolutely, we do a lot of those. Just if I talk about even currently, for example, we are running a collaborated activity with Lakme. It's our annual makeup festival, one of the ones that we do. It's called Lush Lips. Now, in many of the key malls, which again jointly with Lakme we agreed, we are doing some atrium activations to invite consumers to come and interact with key brands, and there are going to be some makeup artists there. There'll be going to be some makeover stuff going on. Similarly, during the holidays, we are planning in a few malls a kind of kids fest to drive awareness of our kids offerings and the stuff that's happening in store in the kids franchise. So we do actually collaborate regularly with malls to drive consumer engagement even outside the footprint of our own stores.
Very fair. Dr. Dogra, your views on this? I'll repeat the question for you. No, sure. Freebies or experience? What really matters, what works, and how's that been now, from your experience?
My experience, free is always good. But then, of course, if you get the experience as well, and it's free, why not? I want to touch, can I touch on the personal shopping thing that I was talking to you?
Sorry, just say that again.
Personal shopping.
Please, you can use, absolutely, yes.
All right, so, I was just thinking, how do we connect the omnichannel retail world now with where you can provide the service which a customer wants, needs in omnichannel world. So, a concept which is prevalent in India for several years, I think. And we just discussed, it's called personal shopping. More so applicable on premium to bridge to luxury malls or luxury malls. So if you have a personal shopper who is a key account holder for all the key clients of that particular mall, if the mall is able to make that database, the customer can sit in their homes and order and then pick it up or get it changed or get it through their personal shopper. So you're connecting two things there. So for example, if somebody wants to buy a pair of shoes and they're not sure whether it's what will fit them, whether it's the size 7 or 8. So you book it through the net, and then you call up your personal shopper in that mall, and he or she will keep those two separate for you so you can come and try and buy them. Okay? So, I'm just saying we have to figure out ways of engagement in terms of which, because if we think Amazon is going to go away, no, it's not. It's the world's biggest company now. So that's not going to go away, or Flipkart, or any of the other ways, okay? And for whatever reason it is, COVID के बाद और भी लोगों ने online shopping और ज़्यादा करनी शुरू कर दी, जबकि still we are a very minuscule part. Organized retail India में only 12% है. 88% तो unorganized retail है. उस 12% के अंदर what share Amazon has, but it is year on year, it's growing. So I think you'll have to mix it somewhere to keep that interest going and also get them, both the things connected. And I think that's the way to go. I mean, we have to see the benefits of both the things. So, आपका पर्सनल शॉपर है, आप उसको, जैसे मैं आज बोल रहा था, आपको किसी शादी में जाना है, आपको आउटफिट लेनी है, सूट खरीदना है, वो करना है, आपने उसको कॉल किया, यार इस कलर में ये मेरे को रख के रख दो.
Sure, sure.
So I'll just go there, get the thing done, and so that's personalized service. I mean, I remember, I mean, I was mentioning it to you, I started the service in the year 95 for Macy's department stores. Okay, a lot of you were not even born then. So I coined that word, personal shopping, in the year 95. So, I mean, I think we have, we are there, but now I think we have to actually implement it and not do it just for the heck of it. So,
Totally, Doctor. You're absolutely right. And Doctor actually said he's the oldest in this panel, by the way, by sort of saying nobody was born in that point of time.
Yeah, older, wiser.
Akhil and Kapila, your views, because we have to move to the last subject, and I'm sure there's a paucity of time. All right. Akhil, freebies or experience?
See, what's happened, there's always a customer segmentation, which, goes for freebies, which goes for discounts, which goes for vouchers. And it's already built in with the calendar. When we do a seasonal calendar or annual calendar, it's already built in the system. So we understand when the trolley bag scheme is going to work. We understand when the repeat customer will come, when to give vouchers and when to get those redeemed. So it's already it's already, I think, in the blood of how retail operates now.
Sure. Kapila, I know you have a lot to say on this.
I think it's both. Where one uses what is the key. That's I would say. So at times, to pull a customer, you need to offer something. But can we not use freebie as a delight? That's another way to look at it. For example, you're going in for a nice fancy dinner, fine dining, and then you're given something as a freebie to delight. It was not the freebie that pulled you, but that freebie made a memory for you.
Right.
And that association of loyalty and delight comes in. So it's both technically, and we as consumers, we need both at different points of time for different needs. How we use it is the key.
Understood.
That's what I would
Got it. Before we move to the last topic, and I know we just have a little time left with us, but this is a very important one, and I think that's for the audience. For the sake of repetition, I'm going to be asking this question, actually, and I'll just leave quickly for the jury to answer because the last one is still left. How has the annual marketing plan or the calendar of events changed from pre to post? Has there been a total alignment change, or we sort of carrying a lot from the old and moving into the present? Quick views from Rohini and Kapila on this. I'll just leave two people for the views.
Yeah, I don't think there's any substantial change in the calendar. I think everything is getting back to normal. The festival, we started this year with all the regional festivals like Ugadi and Baisakhi. So we've activated them much in the way that we would have done it in 2019. So I think the calendar itself has not changed. I think what has maybe to some extent changed is we are promoting them and activating them much more in the digital space as well. So, there is a full 360 degree. There is a lot of, digital, Instagram, social. We make sure that everything we do in our store reflects on our .com as well. So I think that's it, but I don't think there are any major changes to the calendar per se, in my view.
Awesome, Rohini. Kapila, from your point?
It changed drastically during the COVID periods. It's now going back from the science of putting the calendar together. But like I said, it's how one is reaching out. That has changed drastically. I mean, 2019, traditional media, while digital, of course, was big, but traditional media was as strong as, 2015 or 2010. What has changed now is the mix that has changed. So you're reaching out in newer ways. Omnichannel, as we use and abuse a lot, like I say. But how are we reaching out? Where your customer is, reach out to them in that fashion.
Since you touched that chord, and I was actually going to keep it towards the end, but she's sort of touched that chord. Omni-channel at the malls. Ground was the reality versus what's happening on the ground, because a lot of sessions people have said that we've started Omni-channel, we're delivering food, some bit of fashion we are able to deliver. We saw some moment and traction happening during the lockdown with WhatsApp shopping, which was sort of evident and prevalent in all the malls, right? Across tiers. But I'm just going to park this question mainly for the malls, and I have Akhil to give some inputs as well. What is the reality? What is the expectations and what is the ground reality, Kapila, on this? Because your entire group has an app. I think it would be the most easiest for you to convert and move them into omni-channel. But what is it? What is the ground reality, Kapila?
The ground reality is that as malls, we don't have a product per se to sell, right? We are a platform that enables many great brands to sell to the customers. How we use omnichannel is connecting the consumer, and since you mentioned the app cannot remain stagnant, right? When it was launched, it was solving a particular purpose. During COVID, it evolved to connect the cautious consumer who was still in love with the brand and wanted to get in touch with them. So we created a seamless link and a bridge wherein sitting at home, you could figure out, what's going on at the mall, how many people are there, real time you were getting that information, which enabled you to ascertain and decide when do you want to go or not go. If not go, how do you still connect with the brand? So we used various technologies using the app as a base, but adding layers of WhatsApp and all. So connecting the customer to the brand of their choice, helping them curate one final look, that was omni-channel for us then. Is it relevant today? No. Curbsides were relevant then, not so now. So hold on and watch the space for more, as they say.
Sure.
It's evolving further, and you will see a new avatar soon.
Awesome. Please, Vineet, please.
Just to add on, see what happened, the two type of the business emerge in the omni-channel. Yeah. One is it's a more of the retailer perspective. It is like how fast you can rotate your inventory, which means you are getting the online order and using the same inventory and dispatching it to the customer, okay? That's the one model. Second, I think customers, they are giving the online order, and sometimes they are coming and doing the pickup also. Right. So that second model is not immersed so much, what everybody agree, but I think the first model, what I have spoken about, like giving order and doing the delivery from the store, I think it's really working very, 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 very good.
Akhil, I think we've almost short of time. I'll leave Akhil for the last one because Akhil has some points and views on the omni-channel versus the reality.
So it really works, and everybody's in the learning phase. Omnichannel, again, has been a new term, and everybody wants to get into omnichannel. So for brands like us, D2C becomes the first step towards omnichannel, where you're able to expose all your inventory available across stores into one platform. And once that is there, and then the omnichannel piece comes in. So as a brand, we experimented. We are doing beta testing on about 5 stores across the country to understand whether this dark store concept work or not. And as of now, it's working fine, but we still have some time when we say that we are true omnichannel.
Perfect, great. Anish, I know I'm totally out of time, but the last, anybody from the audience has any questions? Otherwise, we are good to end the session, actually. Anybody? And hope these guys were listening even. But thank you so much for everyone. I mean, great views, great insights.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.